Hello and welcome, Snake here. Thanks to Tier Maker tool, I'm able to come with another tier list. Today is tier list for Vampire Coast in Total War Warhammer 3. Quick reminder, I am judging them by my standards, by my preferences, by my playstyle, and because I am disabled, it does affect me. It does affect my playstyle, so it might be different than yours. Judgment upon those units. It's fine. Nothing will happen if we have a different opinions, but I hope you agree with most of them. You can also help me by subscribing. It's free, so it doesn't cost anything, and you could help me improve the channel. Vampire Coast is a single DLC faction, same as the Tomb Kings. So unfortunately, the roster is quite small, and it would be nice to have some improvements, some DLCs to make it happen. I have my game in the background. It's Sartosa. I just started campaign because some units are available only for Sartosa pirates, which is a shame, but I guess Aranessa is somewhat of a living creature. So let's go. Oh god, some of these units are just so bad. So starting with Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob, because their names are, a little bit messed up, and I want to pronounce them correctly. So it's apparently... Okay, so I forgot to mention, with Vampire Coast, you need to look at units in two different ways. One, the units that you can resurrect from... from a battlefield, from a ground on a campaign map, or the ones that you can recruit. I mean, you can recruit all of them, but most of them you shouldn't. Most of them you should just resurrect. And Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob is one of them. It's shit. It's terrible it has terrible stats, but it's somewhat almost a free unit, and you should resurrect it. This unit gonna be vastly available for you. The next one is Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob with polearms, and it's apparently a tier 2 unit, but you should never recruit it. Never. You can resurrect it and you will have some use of it. It has better stats than the previous one. Okay, so maybe let's be fair at that. These guys are complete trash. These spear guys, halberdiers, are not that bad. They need some buffs, but because you resurrect them and you have them instantly, yeah, well, they're fine. Now the Sartosa Free Company, these guys have to be recruited. They cannot be resurrected, so... And their stats makes them okay. They have decent stats compared to previous units. Holy hell. So, you could recruit them. It's fine to have them, but... I don't. I mean, if I have opportunity... That's a thing. I need to have opportunity to recruit them. Because often, you don't. You're on a battlefield. You resurrect stuff and you push forward. That's how you play with Vampire Coast. You don't bunker in your settlements and spend 10, turns to recruit. No, you push forward. Of course, you can recruit, but that should be done with your ship building, because Vampire Coast can build with the ship. So obviously, that's where you should recruit. And you cannot. I'll show you.
My ship.
And you cannot recruit Sartosa units in a ship. You can't. So you have to be in a settlement. And that complicates everything. So, in terms of stats, it's a really okay unit. In terms of availability, well, it's a different story. Sirens. Yeah, Sirens. There was a time when Sirens had 75% physical resistance. Now they have only 55. And I am disappointed with them because they tend to die a lot. They die quicker than you may think. And it's not even because, you know, they die because they don't have armor, they have 55% physical, so they negate half of a physical damage. They do charm units, they do have charmed, and that reduces the melee attack 8. They have magical attacks. But seriously, I've been trying with Silostra make them viable in a campaign to make like an army with them. No. You don't build an army with them. You recruit them. You resurrect them. You can recruit them if you want, but they will die often. So I'd say their max I can give is okay. Because I wish they were very good in Warhammer 2, okay? They were very good. But now they're just okay. And next up are the Depth Guard. Depth Guard, okay. Now you have to look in two ways. Do you have to recruit Depth Guard? If yes, yeah, well, that's it. If you have to recruit Depth Guard, that's it. But if you resurrect, then they're here. Yeah, both these units. This is tier 4 and tier 5. The polearms are tier 5 unit. What the fuck? Like, they should be absolutely dropped one tier. Depth Guard should be tier 3. And the polearms should be tier 4. Not like that. Tier 5 unit. It's too much. So, it's not performing like tier 5 unit. That's what I'm saying. And it's a massive disappointment. So, in terms of stats, they're okay. The regular one has higher melee attack. These polearms have higher melee defense. So, they have hunger. Yeah, it's just not working for me, okay? So, like I said, depends on how you recruit them. They perform. The Depth Guard with polearms doesn't act like tier 5, and it shouldn't be tier 5. But in terms of combat, they last long enough. It's pretty much how long they can last on a battlefield, because it's such a failure when it comes to combat in general. So it's not working. It's not working. Like, Maneaters are tier 3 for Sartosa, and they perform superior compared to Depth Guard. So I'm gonna leave it like that. However, I think they should be more like this. But no, the Depth Guard polearms are good enough. I mean, it's very good for terms of stats, because Vampire Coast melee units are shit. They have low stats. Literally, every unit have a low stats for some fucking reason. When you compare that to dwarves, greenskins, empire, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but it's something is not right. Now I'm gonna go for range units, range infantry units, and the first one, again, need to check Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob. This unit is not good, okay? This unit is not good, but it's not as bad as this unit, because it can shoot. It can shoot and move forward. So it does some damage. It does nice against like flying units. It's nice to chase somebody. And again, it's super available. You're gonna recruit them a lot. And I don't look on whole roster and compare to dwarves, no, because that would be crap. No, you need to look on them on in case of it's a Vampire Coast roster. So you compare those units to each other. So this one is way better than this one because it can shoot, it dish damage. It can dish some damage, it's not that bad. Same goes for the zombie pirate gunnery mob with bombers, you know. They can do some damage. But I don't like them. The range is crap. They're basically this unit-ish. No, they're even worse. Holy fuck. Okay. So they're worse than these when it comes to melee stats. So you're supposed to rely on the bombs, right? And those bombs will do some damage. Actually, fuck that. No, they need a buff. They definitely need a buff. They're not absolute crap, because they can dish damage. But when it comes to melee defense, because the range is 55. No, it's absolute crap. I cannot convince myself. I'm trying to convince myself here, but here's a scenario. You throw bombs, units are coming. Jesus, I am comparing it to the fucking miners, okay? And miners are superior compared to that. But you throw a bomb. They have a range of... I'll show you. They have a range of 55, okay? Look at those stats. 55 meters. These have range 90. So, here's a scenario. Something comes at you. You throw a bomb. 1 or 2. Then you fight in melee. And you die. This unit dies super quick. Okay, let's say you have a melee infantry. And then you go from a side. And you do some splash damage to your units. It's not worth to have this unit in our... It's absolute shit. I cannot convince myself because it just... No. And you shouldn't ever recruit it. Unless you're desperate, you need a unit and you can resurrect it. Never recruit it. Never. God damn it. Sartosa Militia is another living creature for Sartosa, and it's tier 1, so it's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but the melee defense is better than literally anything below. Literally everything below has lower stats than this, so it cannot be lower than this. I wouldn't say it's like something great. No, it's not. It's like Free Company Militia unit. It's pretty much the same unit. And in Vampire Coast roster, it's okay. It's okay. When it comes to zombie pirate gunnery mob handgunners, these units are very good. In terms of roster, you could use quite a lot of them. I tend to use a lot of them, and despite not being amazing in everything, they do job done. They have high armor piercing missile. Range is decent, enough ammo. In terms of melee, they die. They die faster than you think. But when it comes to shooting, they are doing fine. And there is one thing that pisses me off often. When Menace Below is dropped on Vampire Coast army, Menace Below wins, often with most of those range units. It's disgustingly powerful because they don't have armor, they don't have stats. So, okay. Next up are the zombie pirate gunnery mob with hand cannons. And I'll tell you this. They need a buff. There is plenty of units of the same caliber. Grand Cafe have, like blunderbosses exist. Everything is better than this. Everything. In terms of firepower, yeah, it does a lot of damage. In terms of anything else, they die from looking at them. They have 6 melee defense. 6. So every hit comes in. I guess that's another thing with Vampire Coast. You should not get attached to your units, because they die. And, you know, in terms of raw power, yeah, they have a punch. They are doing great job, but no, absolutely fucking no. Whatever hits them, including Manas below, and these guys have higher range, so they will do more damage than these in terms of, firepower, because there is a higher chance they will get in, engage in melee. So that's my problem. A lot of the times, like, even freaking bats lands on top of them and I cannot drop them, and they start dying. Yeah, it's a problem. Next up are the deck gunners, and I love the deck gunners. They're very good. The range is huge. They're tier 4 unit. And they have a shield breaker shot, so missile block reduced by -24. That's a lot. 245 base range. And they have higher stats in terms of melee than these guys for sure. But they will do a lot of damage. However, there is less of them. Like hand cannons have a 120 units, while deck gunners only 36. So I use them. I use these units. They're like complementary units, but they die. And I never recruit them. I always resurrect them. Deck gunners are a unit I could recruit, but the hand cannons are usually a unit I resurrect. And now Monstrous infantry. Yeah. So animated hulks. Animated hulks, in my eyes, are okay. It's only 16 entities, and for 16 entities, they have quite a low stats. Like literally everything here. They are supposed to hold the line. They're aquatic, like a lot of units, but they're somewhat like chaos spawns, but they are not, unbreakable. They are very breakable, and you will break them a lot. Next I will get Morngulls, which I love. Fucking Morngulls. I'm trying to make them viable. I borderline could call them amazing. But they're very good. They're not amazing, okay? They have weird animation that does knock down entities a lot. They tend to knock them out like it's nothing. They do nice versus infantry because they have bonus versus infantry. Let me show you. So they have bonus versus infantry 20, armor piercing quite high, and base weapon damage. They're berserkers. They do a lot of damage. Plus they have a frostbite. You can buff them by a bit. You reduce upkeep and reduce turn to recruit. They needed 2 turns. You can make 1 turn. You give them speed and charge bonus. And you can give them spell resistance. And I think that's it. Yeah, so they can get spell resistance. Silostra makes them better, like Sirens. She buffs them a little bit more. And when it comes to justice, they get speed. I know, it's only for bloated corpse. Yeah, so they get weapon strength and melee attack. And here they get melee defense, speed, and a leadership. Leadership is quite huge, because the leadership for all those units is not impressive. They tend to have a low leadership, so leadership in lords and heroes is quite important, which should be in undead units. They should be like, oh, I'm dead. What the do you want from me? And they should be like, feel crap about themselves. So, well, it's accurate. Oh, God. Now these. Okay, they are the Rotting Prometheans. Rotting Prometheans? That's gonna sound terrible, okay? But they're not bad. I really don't think they're bad. In terms of stats, they are quite tanky. It's only 12 entities. But they're high armor piercing unit, and they tend to be good. In terms of combat, they hold the line more than you think. Plus, they are, and it's gonna sound weird, but they are amazing, and I phrase it correctly. They are amazing to burn artillery ammo. They're large entities, it's 12 of them, but they have quite a lot of life per entity. So they don't die from one shot. You can heal them, and you can burn a lot. They burn ammo from artillery greatly. They're really good at it. And I know it's not supposed to be the job, but they are doing it fine. And the Rotting Prometheans with the gunnery mob does the same job. On top of it, it has a missile unit on top of it, right? So, in terms of pure stats, they're very good. But in combat, they have some problems. Nevertheless, you can use them nicely, and they can be resurrected as well. And I did use them a lot. Compared to most of them, they're the faster unit than most of these units, okay? And I like a beefy unit that have some life. Of course, with undead you can heal and get resurrected, so it doesn't really matter. But I've been doing some crazy stuff with these, and they are not as terrible as I believed. Legend convinced me they're shit. They're shit as a mount. They're terrible as a mount, okay? They're really fucking slow. But as a unit, they stand a chance. They're much more beefy than like animated hawks. They work. But you do need to put effort. And it's a problem. Plus the Rotting Prometheans with Gunner Robe are tier 4. So, but if you resurrect them, that doesn't matter. I need to turn that. In terms of being resurrected, they're very good. Jesus, I would have to make 2 lists. In terms of being resurrected and in terms of being recruited. But in terms of resurrected, they're very good. In terms of being recruited, they're borderline okay. Because you need to spend turns to recruit them, and it's not fun. If you can get instantly, then that's another story. And Maneaters. Fucking Maneaters are amazing. But I don't think you can heal them, so that's a problem. But it doesn't matter, they have a lot of life. They do job greatly. They're Sartosa with those units are... Yeah, you can go with those units and do a lot of stuff. Let me see if Aranessa have even those units in the... talents. Oh, come on. Why do you give... Okay, that's ass. Okay, so they gave Maneaters to Sartosa, But they oh my god, they didn't give them talents. What an ass. Okay, and they're okay, in that case they're just very good. I'm not saying they're amazing. They didn't get supporting talents for like Aranessa. What the fuck? Yeah, it's a disappointment. Massive disappointment. Jesus. Yeah, I am really pissed off now. Jesus. Okay. Scurvy dogs. Let's go forward, because I just don't want to dwell on it too much. Scurvy dogs are okay. You can use them in many situations. Their leadership is dog shit, but they're fast. They can kill artillery. They can do some stuff to archers, to missile units that are not armored. They can do damage, but they will die most likely. Again, you don't get attached to your Vampire Coast units. Buffs needed for bats. I usually believe bats are crap, but I compare that to different roster. And bats pissing me off all the time. But their high melee defense can make them... They can stand some chances. Oh, and by the way, Aranessa buffs these Prometheans, so they can be used. But like I said, it does require some intense practice. Buffs are bats. Jesus. Bats can be sent to kill artillery. They can send to keep up. I mean, they keep busy like a missile unit. They're usable. While these units just die. These are usable. These are usable. These are not. That should not be buff me. It should be usable. But they definitely need some. And oh my god, the next ones are of course the deck droppers. Deck droppers. It's a tier 3. It deserves buff. And it's a tier 4. Okay, let's make it a little bit correct. That's what you should believe. And that's what they are. But it's not as bad as you think. Because if you resurrect them, they can do some damage. But that's it. They are not gonna do much. Let's face it. The regular deck droppers don't do much. The deck droppers with handgunners, this can do something. It can do some armor piercing. It has longer range. So this one, from all those three, is the most usable. I wouldn't bother with them, even with Resurrect, unless you're pinned down and you don't have much units. But this one is the best from all of them. It's still crap, but yeah. Bloaty boy. I love some bloats. Okay, so there's a thing with bloaty boy. If you have a perfect scenario and you can land, if you hide him enough, and then AI blobs with some melee infantry and you come out, it's a god tier because you can kill like 6 units with it. You can kill 6 units with it if they're blobbed up. But sometimes he's crap because he gets sniped. If you leave him visible, lords, AI lords, or single entities tend to snipe him. Just pop him. Missile units focus on him. So it's up to you. Bloaty boy can be from god tier to crap. It's up to you what it is. So I'm gonna leave it in the middle. And for me, it's very good. But sometimes I struggle because it's sniped. It's very good unit. It can kill so many melee infantry. It's disgusting how often you can do some stuff. But it requires preparation. And that's why there is a talent in like lords that gives them speed. They need speed. If they're faster, they will kill so many units. It's so powerful. But again, if you make it, and he pops immediately. Great unit if you know how to use it. And now we're going to the monstrous of the monster. Artillery monster, Necrophex Colossus. It's amazing unit, but it's not amazing because of it's really powerful. No, the availability, the way you can get it like Doomstack, full of them within up to turn 16, 17. If you're fast enough, you can on turn 17 for certain Vampire Coast loads, you can have a full stack of Necrophex. I did it. I stopped doing it because it does ruin fun for me. Once you have a Necrophex, yeah, you steamroll too fast. But it's not OP unit. It's far from being OP. It's far from being OP because it struggles in melee. And when it drops to 50%, it spawns the best unit of them all, which is the deck. Jesus, I forget. Zombie pirate deckhand mob. Yeah, So it spawns some meat. The cannon shots, yeah, it's a walking cannon, okay? And it does a lot of damage. You can heal them, they have a lot of life. So they're really good. They're fucking amazing for that. And I would say the same thing about rotting leviathans. I would. But they're too big. They do job done. If you have a healer, they do job done. But compared to them, they're a little bit behind. Nevertheless, I still believe they're amazing, but they require effort to play them. And same goes to this. The Death Shriek Terrorgeist. They're like flying big bats. You can have an army with them. Problem is you need somebody who is on the ground because they're flyers, so you do need to have a stalker. For that, you get yourself a Vampire Fleet Captain, which is a hero that heals, and they can have a stalk ability. So they can have a stalk, and that makes them perfect unit for that. If they don't have, you can have a Mongol hero. So whatever you have, you can make a full army of Death Shriek Terrorgeists. It works. Again, effort. All of these works. They're Doomstacks. But each of them have a problem. Like, for instance, Rotting Leviathan have a massive collision attacks. And it does nicely versus, crowds if you walk through them. It's very vulnerable to missile. Because it's so fucking big. It doesn't have based missile protection, which is a problem. High armor, but armor piercing missile will shred it. So I would say none of them should be an amazing group. They should be all in very good. Because each of them struggles. Each of them. But let's not be so cruel. Because they can be the tier 5 Doomstacks. Death Guard Polearms should not be tier 5, and I don't believe it is. Especially that you can resurrect it often just from nothing. And it just... I don't know why it's tier 5. It does work done, but it's behind. When it comes to artillery, it's very simple. Very good mortars. No, they're okay. They're just mortars. There is nothing special about them. They are just mortars. Cannons, cannonades. It's a very good artillery piece. Again, nothing special. It's just okay because it's nothing crazy about them. They're just okay artillery. However, Queen Bess is an amazing artillery piece. It's technically a ROR, Regiment of Renown, but you can often have it with a ritual. Unfortunately, you can have just one. It's a one giant mortar, and when it drops some, when its missile drops the ground, it's a massive explosion that leaves flame on the ground and burns unit. It does, when it hits, it does insane damage. And artillery is just okay. I don't think they belong to very good, because they do job done, but it's nothing special about them. And I was very kind to some of the units. They should be lower. Most of units should be, except the artillery maybe, should be tier lower. But I'm trying not to be so negative, because what's the point? And I wonder what do you think? Was I too kind for those units? Oh, I was right. Maybe I was wrong about something else. Please tell me in a comment, because I am interested. I'm a huge fan of Vampire Coast, and that's really saddens me that they never get like a second DLC. And in order to confederate, you need a mod. Because, confederating other legendary lords it's fun. It's fun. That's all. Let me know what do you think, please. Subscribe if you like what I do. Have a great day, have a great night. Thank you for watching. Take care, and bye-bye.